What's going on, everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here. Welcome to my Atlanta Season 1, Episode 7 spoiler review. Make sure you have seen the episode. It should take me about 2 minutes to recap it, then give you the pros, cons, and final score. Thanks so much for joining me. So this episode is titled B.A.N, which I believe stands for Black American Network. I may be wrong about that, but I think it's Black American Network. And the way that this episode is done, I mean from start to finish, is like nothing Atlanta has ever done before. It is personally my favorite episode out of the whole season, and this is one of my favorite episodes out of all time for any TV show. The way the writing is, the way the directing is, the way the acting is, and just the overall style. So the way it begins is full of commercials, and it's just... It's the Black American Network, you know, so it's their sort of commercials. None of these commercials actually exist in the real world. They make parodies, you know, like Arizona Tea. The price is on the can, though. And that's like their slogan. The price is on the can, though. So, wow. Pretty smart. Whoever came up with the idea, whether it was Donald Glover or someone else, like whoever came up with that idea and of the commercials, you need to get a raise and a small little award for acknowledgement. So the commercials go down, and we're on a show called Montague. Paperboy is there, and you know, they're kind of talking, you know, about trans. I think they're talking about like transsexuals, and Paperboy is not getting paid. He ends up finding out about that. He's like, well, you're not getting paid. He's like, what? You know, he's all acting weird. So he can barely talk. Now, more commercials are going on there, and we end up meeting this guy named Harrison. He is a, you know, I don't remember his age, but he is a Black American, and he thinks he's a 35-year-old white man. Yeah. This is where it gets even more interesting. So he thinks he's white, and he has the white clothes on, and Paperboy's laughing his ass off, and there's talk about, you know, the freedom of speech. And I love how Harrison also, when he, you know, because it's so freaking weird, they're talking and they're saying stuff like, oh, I don't know why people judge, you know, I get it, they're haters and this stuff, and he's like so judging, so like, he's like against judgment. He's like, you know, equality, like he's fighting for equality. He's like, yeah, I mean, people may have problems, but I know who I am inside, stuff like that. And more commercials after that go on. Harrison is on live TV on Montague, so Paperboy's there watching, and the white kid, he doesn't like gays, so he's like, oh, it's blasphemy, it's absurd, you know, like, oh my god, you think I would be like that? And he just totally goes what he just said a few minutes ago in the documentary. So it was so weird and funny and awesome at the same time for some reason, and so smart, and you're kind of like, your brain was like, oh my god, like that writing was pure freaking genius. So anyway, on to the pros and cons. The greatest aspect of this episode for me is the way the writing was done and the message about equality. Now, I did enjoy the commercials. I thought they were very clever. Now, I laughed a lot during this episode, and that's very unusual for me because I really don't laugh a lot during TV shows, you know, really very chuckles, but within this episode, I laughed my ass off. From the commercials to Harrison thinking it's a 35-year-old white man to Paperboy getting pissed off. I absolutely love this episode from beginning to end. The commercials were very clever and actually surprised me. I didn't expect them to have commercials one after another. So sometimes I was like, okay, is it over? Is it actually a commercial? And I watched this episode again a second time after watching it. I usually don't do that with TV show episodes or 23-minute episodes or 30-minute episodes. I don't usually watch it again. You know, I'm like, okay, I have it saved on my DVR. That's the only Atlanta episode I have saved on my DVR. Everything else is deleted. I watched all of them. I like them. But I have that episode left because I want to show my friends when they come around, you know, I want to show them something funny because it's hilarious, this episode. Not only is it smart the way it's written, the acting's great, the directing, not only is all that's great, that's Atlanta every week. Atlanta is a well quality made show for FX. I'm glad that I started watching it when it premiered. Donald Glover's doing a fantastic job, and especially Just, again, the writing is the main point of this show and the main focus. The way that it carries out a message. I ended up showing my mom this, and she didn't. She laughed at the 35-year-old white man joke. She laughed at that, but she didn't care for anything else, which I was like, oh. Different humor. Everyone has a different... Maybe you thought it sucked, but I thought it was the best episode. Almost the best episode. Probably the best comedy episode out of the year. Which is kind of funny that this is my favorite episode out of the whole season. And only Paperboy really is in it. Like, it's not like your regular Atlanta episode. You put all of Atlanta. And a lot of the episodes are different. A lot of the episodes, don't really balance the characters. They only put, like Darius a little bit. They put Paperboy maybe big in this episode, small in this episode. They like to change it around. And you put this episode, like you put all the 10 episodes down. This is the one episode that is the most different. There are a lot of different episodes, but this is the one that you showed someone that and Paperboy wasn't in it, they wouldn't know it was Atlanta. They wouldn't know it was Atlanta at all. For me, this is a perfect episode. It's one of my favorite episodes out of any TV show this year. The message, the writing, how funny it was, how different it was, the commercials, everything about it, I love. This is the first ever for any TV show I've done, and this is the first ever Atlanta Season 1, Episode 7. I'm going to give it, I've never given this score before for any TV show ever, an A+. Yes, and maybe you're like, really, dude? Really, this is your most favorite episode? No. Trust me. Out of the 5 years, I've been, reviewing TV shows and stuff, I've never given an A+ before. I enjoyed this episode a lot. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, make sure to smack that like button. You can comment down below to me what you guys thought about the episode. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Share this review with your friends and hit that subscribe button for more awesome Atlanta reviews. Till next time, bye-bye.